Let's start, I guess, first with your Cubs. How nervous are you right now? Are you nervous at all?
I've been nervous. I'm going to be nervous all year. The people who say they're not nervous are not people who follow the team. The people who say, oh, they got a 7.5 game lead. They got still 6.5 this morning. They don't understand anything about being a fan of this team for however many years. If it's been 30 and you're 35 years old, you get it. If, in my case, 57 years old, 52 years following this team. So people who say, oh, you got the biggest lead in baseball, you got the best record, they don't. The moment a person says that, I know that person doesn't understand anything about the history of the franchise. I'm encouraged about the Chapman acquisition trade. And the notion that it's a haul for the Yankees, I'm like, stop. It's a haul if you give up somebody that you know can play already. You don't know that Torres is as good as prospect as he is a shortstop can play, and one of the guys have been sent to the minors already. So the notion that it's a haul for the Yankees seems preposterous to me. It's just a lot of baseball trade deadline overspeak. But I'm encouraged about the acquisition of Chapman and terrified now about everything else that team does.
I love it, Michael. I mean, terrified, but it just does seem, though. They've got the hitting, they've got the pitching, now they've got the closers.
Well, I don't know what they have. Why do they have that stuff, Rich? They got off to a great start. You know, in the last, how many games did they play? I'm not looking at it right now. I know they're...
It's 99. They play their 100th game tonight in Wrigley against the White Sox.
So, and I'm going to the game tomorrow in Wrigley, which is Chris Sale's return, allegedly.
Yes, indeed.
So for the last 60 games, they've been a 500 team. So what's so special about a 500 team? Why should I presume that a 500 team, and they might be a game below 500 the last 60. 60 games. Come on. That's more than a third of the season. All they are is a 500 team. So why do they have the pitching? I mean, their ace, their Cy Young Award-winning ace, hasn't been worth a darn in about 6 or 7 games now, starts. He was okay, gave up a 3-run homer 2 nights ago to the White Sox. He wasn't terrible, but he hasn't been great. And the hitting, they just got shut out by the White Sox last night. Why am I supposed to presume? They have hitters and they have pitchers. They've had that before. It's funny. I heard somebody say recently, this is the best team the Cubs have had in. And I'm like, stop. The Cubs have had teams with 4 Hall of Famers at one time who couldn't make the playoffs. So this isn't the best Cubs team. It is not. People can say all these things if they want. The Cubs had multiple Hall of Famers on multiple teams that could not get it done. And so I hope that this is not that time. I believe in Theo. I believe in Joe Madden. I love the roster they put together. But to say anything more than I believe is just preposterous. They've had better teams. They've had better pitchers. My son said to me, we're at spring training, and he said, Dad, if the Cubs ever have anybody as good as, as our reigning Cy Young Award winner, Jake Arrieta, and I said, yeah, let me introduce him to you, Matthew. His name is Ferguson Jenkins. And I turned around and introduced my son to Ferguson Jenkins. He's sitting there. He's sitting in the ballpark. I have a picture of it. And Fergie just laughed. I told him what Matthew said. Yeah. So Ferguson Jenkins was Jake Arrieta 6 years in a row, and they didn't win.
That's right.
So, I
love it.
This world we live in now where people look at something right now and they assess it and try to project it. You can do that with a lot of stuff. You can't do it with the Cubs.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.